be real for a second. Fear isn't always loud. It's not some big, dramatic panic attack. Most of the time, it's subtle. It's you hesitating, overthinking, talking yourself out of something you already know you're meant to do. It's that voice in your head that says, what if it doesn't work? What if they laugh? What if I'm not ready? And the truth is, you've heard that voice for so long, you don't even call it fear anymore. You call it timing, planning, being smart. But deep down, you know better. It's fear, and it's been running your life in the background for years. The worst part, it's good at hiding. Fear is a master of disguise. It sounds like, let's wait for the perfect moment. Let's gather more research. Let's not make things uncomfortable. But let's just say it out loud. Fear is the drug we're all addicted to. Because fear gives us something we crave: certainty, safety, control. And that comfort, it's killing your potential. Let's talk about what fear really is, not the textbook version. We all think fear is about danger, but that's surface level. Psychologically, fear isn't just about risk, it's about identity. The moment you try to do something unfamiliar, your brain doesn't say, this is unsafe. It says that this is not who we are. It's your ego's alarm system screaming, you're stepping out of the box that has kept us alive. We've survived by avoiding attention, staying small, blending in. Why would you mess with that? Let me give you something to think about. Most people don't fear failure. They fear becoming someone their current life doesn't recognize. Because change, real change, means death to the version of you your world is comfortable with. Let's go through some real-life examples. This will hit closer than you think. Fear doesn't say, I'm here. It says, just one more degree, then I'll start the business. I'll speak up next time. Once I have a little more money, I'll leave. Let me tell you about Sam. Sam worked at a software company. Smart, capable, well-liked. But every time he had an idea that could have changed the company, he stayed quiet. Why? Because in 6th grade, he gave the wrong answer in class, and the whole room laughed. That memory, his brain bookmarked it as, when I speak up, I get hurt. Now he's 32, and that same 6-second moment has him sabotaging every opportunity for growth. That's the cruel joke of fear. You're reacting to threats that no longer exist, but your nervous system can't tell the difference. Let me explain what's actually happening in your body when fear hits. Now let's go deeper, biologically. Your brain is constantly scanning for threat. That system is ancient. It was designed to detect lions and cliffs. But today's lions are an angry email, a date who might ghost you, a video with 0 views. And guess what? Your body reacts the same way. Your palms sweat, your chest tightens, your stomach flips. Because fear is not just psychological, it's physical. That's why talking yourself out of it doesn't work. You have to get into the body, into the breath. You have to train your nervous system to say, yes, this is new, but we are safe. Okay, let's talk about the fear that pretends to be logic. Let's flip the script for a moment. What if I told you, fear doesn't always feel like fear? It's not always sweat and panic and shaky hands. Sometimes fear feels smart, reasonable, practical, adult. You say, I'm just being realistic. I'm not ready yet. This isn't the right time. That's not realism. That's fear in a suit and tie. A glass of wine in one hand, a spreadsheet in the other. It doesn't yell, it whispers. It says you're protecting your future. But really, you're just postponing your life. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The more intelligent you are, the more clever your fear becomes. You call it waiting for the right time, but deep down, you're just scared to look foolish. Let me tell you about Alana. She's 28, talented writer, had an idea for a podcast on grief and healing after losing her father. For 2 years, she outlined it, rewrote the concept, changed the name 7 times, bought 3 different mics, but never launched. Why? Because fear was telling her, what if nobody listens? What if people think you're just using your dad's death for views? But those thoughts didn't come with panic. They came dressed in strategy, like, let's wait until we find the perfect intro song. Let's build a bigger email list first. Let's make a trailer that really hits. That's fear, not failure-based fear, but exposure-based fear. The fear of being seen, raw, unpolished, real, and it will wear any mask necessary to keep you quiet. So ask yourself right now, what dream am I calling unready, when really I'm just scared of what happens if I actually go for it? Because if your plan requires zero vulnerability, zero discomfort, zero risk of rejection, then it's not a plan, it's a prison, and fear is the architect. All right, enough theory. Here's what you can actually do about it. So let's get real. How do you actually start to erase fear from your mind? Not in a theoretical way, in a I have bills to pay and anxiety on loop kind of way. Step 1, create micro disruptions. Start small, unpredictable. Wear something bold. Speak up. Ask for something unreasonable. Why? Because your brain needs to see, we did something risky and we didn't die. Step 2, get closer to rejection. Yes, closer. Fear shrinks when exposure grows. Apply for jobs you're underqualified for. Pitch your idea to 5 people a day. Say what you actually think in a room full of people nodding yes. Every rejection is a fear detox. Step 3, ask better questions. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? Start asking, what if this fear isn't mine? Because a lot of what we carry was inherited from parents, teachers, culture, trauma, religion. You don't just erase fear by being brave. You erase it by asking, does this belief still belong in my life? Let's wrap this raw. Fear is like a fog. It looks dense, it feels endless. But once you walk into it, it clears. Not instantly, but step by step. And the version of you that's waiting on the other side? They're not fearless. They're just tired of living in a cage built by comfort. Here's your challenge today. Do something you've been avoiding, not huge, just something real. And comment below, today I said yes to, even though I was scared. Because your fear wants silence, but your future needs action. And if you're ready to go deeper, not just hack your mindset, but rewrite your story, subscribe, because every week I'll be right here, calling you out with love and calling you forward with truth. See you on the other side.